I was at an interview for a baking job, and the interviewer asked if I knew how to bake. I told her no, but I can read, meaning I can follow a recipe's instructions. I was in grade 1 when a Canadian girl came to my school, and we quickly became friends. I looked her in the eye and asked, "What swear words do you know in Canadian?" She kept trying to tell me they were the same words as in English, but I wouldn't believe her. Now, I lie awake at night, thinking she probably tells people that story. I was on a long train journey, staring out the window, when I turned to my friend and said, "It feels like every railroad crossing gate we've passed has been down. What are the odds? I have a PhD, but not in trains." I said to a woman I thought looked like me as I walked by, "Hey, we could be twins." My reflection: it had been a long shift. Years ago, a co-worker and I were talking about how many Japanese people supposedly have KFC for Christmas. Then we wondered, what do they do for Thanksgiving? And tried to Google it. We spent several minutes baffled because we couldn't find anything at all. That's when I realized how dumb we were. You hit me in the cervix. I'm a man. I meant to say sternum. I still can't shake that embarrassing memory. When I worked at McDonald's in high school, I was promoted to manager. One of my co-workers was a guy named Miles. We called him Kilometers because, super original joke. One day, while grabbing a drive-thru order and trying to stock supplies, I noticed we were out of napkins. What I meant to say was, "Hey Miles, can you grab some napkins from the back?" What I actually said was, "Hey napkins, can you grab us some stuff from the back?" Everyone stared, in silence. After a few seconds, Miles realized I was talking to him and said, "Did you just call me napkins?" I was mortified, so I just said, "Yes. Yes, I did." From that moment on, his name was Napkins. I met identical twins once, and the first thing I said was, "Wow, how do you guys tell each other apart?" I was blanking on a casual friend's last name, even though I talked to them regularly. I just couldn't remember. Eventually, I went on Facebook to look it up. Turns out we have the same last name. While playing table tennis with my partner, I had this brilliant idea. Wouldn't it be cool if this was a game with a bigger net and you had to run around to get the ball? Oh wait, that's just tennis. Later that week, while holding my daughter up in front of a fish tank, I thought, it would be so helpful if someone could bring something sturdy to push under you while you squat. Oh wait, that's literally a chair. I claimed the slowest animal was probably an enema. I meant anemone. I'll never forget the confused looks from my coworkers. I was speeding on my way to psychology class, and when I saw police lights in my rearview mirror, I pulled over. The officer was nice and friendly. After I handed him my documents, I said, "By the way, can you write me a note for my teacher? I've already been warned about being late." He smiled and said, "Oh, I'm going to write you a note, all right?" I was that dumb. "You're born in December? That sucks. You have to wait a whole year for your birthday." "Not too much ice, please. I don't want to water it down." It was just a cup of ice water. This still haunts me. I was having surgery, and the anesthesiologist came in to ask if I had any questions. I asked, "Do people dream?" He answered, "Not usually." "What's your other question?" I then asked, "Is it normal to be afraid I won't wake up?" He reassured me, "I promise you will." And then I said, "Well, I bet I won't. I bet the anesthesiologist I was going to die. I bet I won't." Like a complete idiot. Garbage truck drivers must have the chillest job in the world. They only work 1 day a week. Me, for the first 16 years of my life. I once thought Alaska was an island because it's always shown separately on maps. I felt so dumb. It's funny. I've never seen a Bruce Willis movie. You haven't seen Die Hard? Oh wait, yeah, I did see Die Hard. The Sixth Sense? Oh yeah, that too. The Fifth Element? Armageddon? Turns out, I've seen a lot of Bruce Willis movies. I was at home alone, cleaning, and realized I hadn't plugged the vacuum in. I said out loud to myself, "Come on, John," which was weird because I never talked to myself. And the worst part was, it came out, "Come on, Janon." How do I call myself by name and then mispronounce it? I ordered a burger with no onions, then onion rings because I don't like onions. The waitress gave me this priceless look and said, "I think you just don't like raw onions." Yeah, that's what I said. I argued with her for 5 minutes and couldn't understand why she was questioning if I wanted onions on the burger. My manager's manager asked me to estimate how much time I was spending on each of my 3 projects. I confidently said, 75% on Project A, 25% on Project B, and 25% on Project C. I heard my cubicle neighbor laughing and didn't immediately realize it was because of me. The manager's manager paused for a moment and then said very kindly, "So, I'd like those numbers to add up to 100%. Can you try again?" That's when it hit me. My girlfriend asked me to put her clothes in the dryer, and I got irritated, asking, "Well, where are they? What's the name of the dog from Shooby-Doo?" I called my husband in a panic because I couldn't find my phone and asked him if he knew where it was. His answer, in your hand?" One time, I was in the grocery store, and a couple was in front of the pickles I wanted to buy. They noticed me standing there and asked, "Oh, are we in your way?" They moved, and I grabbed the jar. Then, for some reason I still don't understand, I said, "Thanks," and then added, "I like pickles." They must have been thinking, "Well, it's nice that he lets us do his shopping for him. Oh look, it's a full sun out today. It gives me testosterone." I meant serotonin. About 10 years ago, I was at a restaurant and went to the restroom. I told my mom and daughter, "When the waitress comes back, can you ask her to bring some more ice? My water is too watery." My family never lets me forget that one. If there are adult diapers, why aren't there adult strollers? My husband, looking at me like he regretted ever meeting me. "You mean wheelchairs? I don't know if this counts because, thank God, I didn't say it aloud." Picture this. Me, a college senior still living in a dorm, doing my weekly snacks and root beer run at Walmart. The thought, how do people with a whole family grocery shop? Like, what do they do if they buy more than they can carry? Carts. That's what carts are for. Me, crossing the border from Mexico to California. Border patrol guy, "What is your country of origin?" Me, thinking this is easy, replied, "California." The guy gave me a confused look and then just said, "Go." I made a dentist appointment yesterday. They gave me a date and asked if 10:50 was a good time. I replied, "I'm assuming that's 10:50 a.m.? I said it would be nice if we had a mirror app. My boss asked me to print an address label for some paperwork. My printer was out of ink, so I told her I couldn't print the label or send the document. She explained I could just write it by hand. Smart move. When planning a trip to America, I was very confused because Google Maps kept refusing to give me a walking route to the Statue of Liberty. It turns out you can't walk there because it's in the water. What's a chocolate bar? A lady told me she loved chocolate bars, and I briefly pictured a bar that served chocolate instead of alcohol. Then I felt really stupid. Me, "Hi, how are you?" Them, "Good, how are you?" Me, "Good, how are you?" It was years ago, and I was waiting tables. A lady asked for a hot Diet Coke. I asked her how the heck I was supposed to make a hot Diet Coke. She said, "Put it in the microwave." My response, "But the ice will melt." I was watching a TV show with my family, and a cute black girl appeared in a scene with a short hairstyle I thought was cool. I said out loud, "If I were black, I'd have my hair like that." I'm black. I meant to say girl. I asked a server at a Mexican restaurant if their quesadillas had cheese in them, in front of my Mexican-American grandfather. He patiently asked me, "What's the Spanish word for cheese?" Then I realized my mistake. One time I said, "I wish I could swim in the air." My friend replied, "You mean flying?"